Okay. Welcome to Unfiltered and United, episode 7. I know we've been quiet for a while, but we're back. And today we have a very special episode. But before we go into the topic, I have some very special guests with us, and I'll give them each one the opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'm your host, Lynn Kay, on the Unfiltered and United.
Yes. So I'm going to assume we're starting with me.
Yay.
Okay, so my name is Juanita. I am, the reason how Lynn and I actually got in contact with each other was through the foundation, the Rainbow Step Foundation's workshops. And it's been like such a pleasure getting to know Lynn. I'm a very eccentric person. I love talking, so I just feel like being here today is going to be something magical. We are an amazing bunch of women, so
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm Gisela, and that's my cousin and my aunt, and I know Lynn through my aunt and through the Rainbow Step Foundation. And Sam actually forced me to be here today. I didn't even have a choice. She's like, "Are you gonna be on the?" And here we are. But yeah, I'm a fashion stylist. I have many creative jobs, so I'm really excited for today's episode and what people can hear about. So
So I am Samantha, the founder of the Rainbow Step Foundation.
Wow.
And that's actually how Lynn and I also connected. She's really been the very first person that really believed in what we were doing with the foundation and gave me my very first platform. Today's episode is going to be hopefully very inspiring, and I'm hoping that each woman can take something from it. I'm also auntie to these two wonderful ladies here, Juanita and Zala, and they all bring a really cool point of view to this discussion. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you very much for inviting us, Lynn. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And like you said, we all met through Samantha, through the foundation. And we've all been supporting each other. We all have been supporting the foundation. And not just the foundation, outside of the foundation, I think I can say we all have been there to support each other. And that is where our topic comes for today as well, women supporting women. Now it's easy to say a woman supporting woman, we hear it everywhere, we see it everywhere, but what does it really mean? And I'm going to start with you, Juanita.
Yes.
What does woman supporting woman mean to you?
I'm actually a bit on the fence of that. Like on one side, I want to believe that we are encouraging and supporting each other, but then in reality, it's actually not like that. So I'll give you an example. I was on social media, and I'm sure a lot of people maybe have come across this video, but basically this guy was interviewing women at some club, and the question was, do you think that this girl can take your man, right? And there was like all the girls were saying, no, she can't take my man because of how she looks. There were like one or two girlies that had a different approach, saying like, yes, absolutely, this girl can take my man because she has a stunning style. Like there's just something beautiful about her. But what I took from that was, I think that we tend to focus so much on like the man in this case and what he thinks of us, but actually, if you flip the script, it's the women that are bashing each other.
Yeah.
And that is like the reality, I think, in every part of areas of our lives, which we will also unpack in this session. But it's women that are calling each other these bad names. And you know what? Women are actually already going through so many insecurities in the different areas of their lives. I'm not beautiful enough based on, I don't know whose beauty standards, but also like looking at themselves in the mirror and thinking to themselves like, I don't look good in this dress, or I'm not good enough, like just those kind of questions pops up. But are we actually encouraging and supporting each other? Like, girl, no, you do look good in that black blazer. Like, I love that your face lights up in this way. Like the lighting literally right now is hitting the face. You know what I mean? We don't do that enough. So yeah, that's basically what in terms of women supporting women, that would be my take on it. Yeah.
talking about social media, do you think liking someone's post is support enough? Because
mean,
sometimes
yes.
it's not just about liking it, it's showing up.
Yes, like in reality,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we come across a lot of posts on like TikTok, for example, and yeah, surely she looks good, but how are we actually doing that in reality? And I think that maybe as we go along the session, we'll find that it can be in the most simplest forms. You could be walking in a mall, and now you see someone walking past you, but in your mind, you're thinking, oh my god, she's actually so beautiful, but then it
Yeah.
comes out in a different way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're around other groups of women, like your
Mm.
friends, or yeah. So I think we have a lot to work on
Yeah.
in terms of that.
Why do you think, social media can be a good thing and
Yeah.
it can be a bad thing? There are a lot of good that's happening. Why do you think, and not just women, a lot of people would support people on social media more than they would support the ones that are in their life?
Yeah.
Drop that.
Wow, that is such an interesting question. I think that because you mean like influencers, content creators.
Or content creators, influence.
Yeah, I think it's because maybe it's a version of themselves that they see. Like if you're looking at certain content creators, I'm like, oh, I love how she looks in that dress. I love her confidence. So maybe it's a version of you that you want to be like. But then if you're going to take it into like reality or in a personal capacity, sometimes jealousy comes into play. And that's so sad actually, because we should all feel like empowered in our own way. Yeah.
Yes, and the thing is also what I've also noticed, like in the space of just social media, just to go back to what you were saying about the video and about women that was bashing other women also. The thing is this also, the main thing here was about like impressing a man and what is the man going to think about the person. But the thing is in another context, I've been in social settings where I'll be with my girlfriends and somebody would be like other woman would be also there looking good, whatever. But instead of saying, oh my word, they look so good, they find a way to create like, I don't think that is for her body type. I don't think that heels is really made for her. And the thing is I feel like the way that narrative can be changed is I really do a conscious thing in my life where when I do see somebody, a woman looking good, I make a point of saying, you look really good in that dress. And all the time when that has happened, the person that is receiving that compliment, their face lights up, but sometimes they also feel uncomfortable because it's not something that happens very often. And I think in that way the narrative needs to be changed, because for me, when I end up giving a woman a compliment about a beautiful dress or whatever, immediately it changes my day as well.
Yes.
So I think the narrative in that way really needs to change for women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and but do you think, a lot of people influence on social media were inspiring to people? Do you think some of them are actually like that in real life, or is it just for social media?
I want to believe, sorry. I want to believe that is how they are in reality. Because obviously on social media, everybody's putting on this facade, this mask. But I mean, we're all going through our own things. So I'm hoping that is the case, because I mean, it would give a different perspective of that person. But I don't know, Sally, what do you think?
I think like that, almost like in a way, like you can't really tell unless you know the person, like personally, because I feel like with social media you have to put up like a certain facade, like you said, just so like almost like an alter ego type of thing for you to feel like more comfortable to be on social media, I would say. But I feel like it's more like you need to know the person personally, because like what I do is I work with like creatives, or I've made influencers. And obviously you see them on social media and they have this type of personality, and then they're like completely different. So maybe they're like a bit more calm, they're more chill, but on social media like they're more like more like upbeat and stuff like that, So So I'd say like you need to know the person more like personally to really know that.
Do you also think it's got a lot to do with like brands and what kind of jobs that
I think
person
that, yeah,
needs to get
definitely.
in terms of what they have to show on social media?
Yes.
And that is the difference between who they actually are in person
Yeah.
and the kind of jobs that they need to get.
Yeah. I also think like because like social media is quick to hop on trends and stuff. So I feel like in a way, and I'm gonna be like very honest, everyone is trying to follow the same trend. Even like I'm gonna speak like in for women, like women content creators. In a way, we all like dress similar. We all trying to have a similar aesthetic, like clean girl aesthetic and all this type of things. So yeah, I'm gonna say like what Lynn said. I'm gonna mix with that.
I actually want to ask Sam a question. How has women supporting women showed up for you? What is your take on that?
So, in the space that I actually find myself in right now is I have to be in the space of being a founder of in the special needs sphere and with social workers and people that run schools in the special needs space. So there's like a lot of that I am involved in, and then I also have also work in corporate. So in a career space, I wouldn't say it's all been negative or for women not showing up for other women, but I will say in this year of having the foundation, I really thought that there would be a lot of people that will be helping this community out in terms of the resources and the people that I meet that can make a really big influence on people getting the necessary resources like speech therapy and occupational therapy and schooling and all of those type of things. And I was actually really surprised that the people that I thought that would show up for the community that I'm representing, that wasn't the case.
Wow.
I almost feel like sometimes you create something and it's something so beautiful, and then you lean on other women that is in the same industry, and they actually don't show up for you in the way that they will. I have had conversations with you in terms of career and success as well. So it almost feels to me, and maybe you ladies can correct me if I'm wrong, it almost feels sometimes like woman sometimes wants to help you until a level that it doesn't exceed the kind of success that they have created in the business that they are in. And I really feel that that is deeply sad because everybody has got a place to shine. I would hope that if I would have an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity where Zala can take her styling to the next level, that I'm going to be the first one to say, Zala, you need to make this call. Instead of keeping that information away from her and not letting her elevate to the next level. So that has been my experience.
Wow.
Why do you think women, especially in corporate or outside when it comes to foundations and that, why do you think they struggle to support each other?
It's actually such a difficult thing to actually answer because I don't think in just in my corporate job, just from speaking to people that's now known that I've started the foundation, the conversations is always about, like, it's a non-profit that is, I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart to try to make sure that another family doesn't have to have this heavy burden. But when I have conversations, especially with women, it's always about, but why is it that you would want to push so hard for something that is not going to make money? And the thing is I think that is the thing. It's got to do with somebody not seeing your vision. What you have been placed in your heart. This is a fantastic platform that you have here, a fantastic podcast you have. There is probably so many young women that wants to be a learner, that can see themselves having a podcast, that has got that fear of just like, I don't know if I'm good enough. And I have to really give you your flowers there for taking this opportunity. And the thing is, there might be moments that you, before even starting this, might have had a conversation with other women and they just like a podcast
Mhm.
with your personality, you're so chilled. Like I can't even see something like that for you. And the same with the foundation. It's a huge undertaking. It's a lot of work that goes in there. And people is not going to believe in your dream because it wasn't placed in their heart. God didn't put that path there for them. So it's okay for them not to understand, but we still have to move forward. You still have to be the best in your
Yeah.
styling that you
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah.
Because it was placed in your heart and it's something that is going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So I think that has been me changing the narrative for me because I refuse to stay in a space where I'm not going to help people just because somebody doesn't
Yeah.
believe in my dream.
And I think sometimes it's not because they don't believe in your dream. They don't believe that it should be your dream because they want to be in that position.
Yeah,
And,
it's like
you
the
know,
dream.
Same,
Yeah.
and I think people forget, especially when it comes to corporate, that
Mm.
it's not about taking your seat, but it's about knowing that there's a seat at the table for everyone.
Everyone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you
definitely.
think about this?
Um,
Marita?
well, I mean, I've been in corporate for a long time, and I've definitely seen that play out time and again, where we are not supporting each other in that
Yeah.
way. We don't want this woman to, I guess, be more successful than what we are.
Yeah.
So what do? We start gossiping about the girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
You
Yeah.
know, we start saying bad things about her. We, like, I think a lot of women, we start to think to ourselves, oh, I wonder what she had to do to get there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That is like a real conversation I hear all the time. But again, similar to coming back to like what Sam was saying about changing the narrative, I think that is so important because we can't stay stuck in that mindset.
Yeah.
But when you are in these settings with your colleagues or your friends, are you the one actually saying in the group, actually, I do think that she is
Yes.
that girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually do like the dress that she's wearing.
Yeah.
She's confident.
Mm.
And immediately you can see in their conversations how everything shifts.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, we have our own opinion on this thing. It just,
Mm.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we live and we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seeing that we're speaking about corporate and that, and Zella, I actually have a question for you with regards to this. You know, you're still young, you're getting into that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never experienced a corporate. I've never
One day,
experienced
You know, social media has become so big, they book you for gigs,
Yeah,
styling
yeah.
and all those things. Do you feel that, let me just put it in the right words,
Yeah.
because we all know your family, we all, you
Yeah.
know, your aunts and that. Do you think people sometimes say, it's because of a family that you want her as part of your team or so?
I don't think I've ever experienced that. Because if the people that I've worked with, they don't actually know my aunt. So I think I've never really experienced that. Or no one's ever mentioned that or said anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I work for everything that I want to accomplish. So I make sure that I got there myself. Not that I say I don't need my aunt's help, but I make sure like if I can do it, I'm gonna put the effort to get it. So
Yes,
yeah, I feel like that's
yeah.
why I've never like experienced that with some things that maybe I got it because of someone else. Yeah.
Mm. But something that I will say about Zizella is that she is extremely humble. She is. You
She
see
is,
the
yeah.
you see the big hair and you see like the fashion sense and she's that girl. But there's something very like humble about her spirit. So maybe that's why.
Maybe that is
experienced
why.
that, because if you had to be a different kind of woman.
Yeah.
That was, and there's nothing wrong with being confident,
Yeah.
or I guess you need to be proud of who you are. But I think that is what people can relate to, like your humility.
Yeah.
Like you keep yourself grounded and you talk to many kinds of people everywhere that you go.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's just what I
Yeah,
want to add.
Zala, or just to add on to what Rita has to say, I think also a lot of times these things happen because you just have like a natural light that shines when you step into a
Yes.
room. And while we're on the topic of talking about you,
Yes.
so woman supporting woman, like you, basically starting off and with all these wonderful things that's also happening in your life and things. How has it showed up for you in your life? Yeah.
I would say, yo. I feel like I had a different experience. Like if I think about the people in my corner and who was there for me, because like I don't like a quick rundown of my story is like took a gap year, and that gap year it was a
It was
lot.
hectic.
It was hectic, yes. But there was like certain people that showed up for me and was there for me. Like specifically like my sister and my family and mostly my family. So I would say like also like when it comes to my friends and all of that, there wasn't really a big support system over there. So I got more my support from my family and all of that. And like starting like a career in fashion it's a very like you need to have the strength to do it.
A backbone.
Yeah, you need to have that
Yeah.
backbone. And I had to start from scratch. I knew nothing about fashion. I had to just like get whatever information I could and just take and run with it. But I would say like my family and my family is made up of mostly women. So like they showed up for me a lot. But I would say like in the aspect of like female friendships, I didn't get that a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had a lot of like rocky friendships, where it's like they wouldn't, like I would put more into the friendship than they would. Like I would be like so excited if they maybe achieve something, but like I wouldn't receive the same type of like energy. I wouldn't receive the same energy. Like for example, like if I had a new photo shoot that I styled and stuff, they wouldn't like repost, which is something simple.
Oh wow.
They wouldn't repost it. They wouldn't say like, "Wow, I saw your new thing that you did. Like it's really cool." I would never get that. And then I started to look at like female friendships like very differently. And I feel like till this day, like I'm in my 20s, I don't have that type of support with like female friendships where I'm like, wow, I can lean on this person besides my family and my partner. I feel like I don't have like someone outside that was like, wow, I can really lean on this person because they showed up for me and they were there for me through everything. So I feel like I'm still looking for that person. I'm still trying to find out what
You'll try.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
trying to find it. And I feel like in your 20s it's like very sad, I would say, because like this is a year you grow into the person you want to be, and I feel like you need to have like a support team in a way. Yeah, you need to have that. So yeah.
Ooh.
Do you think, when it comes to friends, yes, they want you to succeed, but you should just not succeed past them?
Yes, definitely. I feel like there's been moments where it's almost like insecurity. Like I remember like telling my friends like, oh, I got into university because I had to take a gap year for like 2 years, and I was very like I was in a bad mental space. So to finally hear like, wow, I get to do something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and like I didn't even get like, wow, I'm proud of you, Zuzella.
Yeah.
Like from that person that I maybe valued as a very close friend. So I would say like this was like an insecurity thing or something like that. I can't say, but I feel like that was my experience with the person per se. Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot.
But you know what? I feel like I've been there too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it all there?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've all been there. I have a lot of conversations with Sam about my childhood and how I saw myself
Yeah.
at that age. Actually, since maybe high school.
Yeah.
It's like I always felt like I was different from my group, and I'm sure that you've experienced that too. I'm so different from my friends. I'm so different from maybe even family in a way. You have your own personality, your own style. So finding your tribe, it can be hard.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes you're just gonna have to do this by yourself. You know, we have to sometimes think about, okay, so what makes me happy? What kind of friendships do I really value?
Yeah.
Am I gonna settle for a bare minimum
Yeah,
friendship?
and I feel like I settled a lot for bare minimum friendships just
Yes.
to have
Yeah.
someone
To
in my
talk
corner.
to.
Yeah, to talk to.
Yes.
But then, like, how I feel after, like, maybe having a conversation with that person, I'm like, I didn't feel right.
I don't
So
feel
great.
exactly.
Yes,
the
I don't
way.
feel like you were supporting me, or this is
Yeah.
not the type of friend I would want in my life. I don't see us, like, in the future still being friends.
Yes.
And then, but I would still continue maybe being friends with that person because I was like, yo, I don't need anyone else in my corner.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah.
And that is actually a question I want to ask you. Do you outgrow a friend that doesn't have the same direction as you?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but I feel like it's taken me very long to like detach myself from like people that's maybe not going in the direction that I want to go to. I find it hard almost like to leave them because you did like have certain memories with them. So it's almost like you keep like you remember those memories that you have and the times that you spend together. So it's hard kind of like to detach from that person. So that's my take on that. What is your take?
Mine.
Yeah.
I do think that we outgrow people.
Yeah.
We have to do
We have to
that.
outgrow people.
You can't stay in the same space that you were
Yeah.
a year ago, 5 years
Yeah.
ago.
Mm.
You can't, because it's something that Sam and I actually always talk about. Like there's different levels, I guess maybe milestones or periods in our lives where, you know, you just see things in
Even the
different.
Snoop quote, I know you can't. Do you want to give it the Snoop quote?
Yeah.
I know you can't say it. Say it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so I saw this video of Snoop Dogg, right? He was at an awards ceremony, and he says in that song that he'd like to thank himself, right? But also on top of that, he mentions how as you go through life, it's not your job. So there's like levels, right? I have to do it the way he did it. So there's levels, right? This is now where you are with your friendships. So you are leveling up, and they are not meeting you there. But it's not your responsibility to come
Yes.
down to
Oh,
them.
yes, love it.
Wow, well, I needed that.
Should I say it
Don't
again?
say it
Should I
again.
say it again?
Say it again.
So, Snoop Dogg. He likes Snoop Dogg. But he said, this is where you are at
Yes.
in terms of your friendships and your life.
Mm.
And you are leveling up every year. You are doing that thing, like you know. Okay, wait, let me first finish it. So you are leveling up. It's not your responsibility to stoop down to your friend's level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna, like, we shouldn't do that. Like, we should continuously grow and motivate each other.
Definitely.
Yes.
I actually want to ask Sam, like, because Sam,
She got
life
some.
is crazy. So, I mean, no, I mean it in a good way. I mean it in a good way. Like, from where Sam started, like, being a rapper and, like, climbing up
Yeah.
and, like,
Yes.
having your own foundation. You probably met so much people and you've been in so much different types of dynamics of, like, friendships. So, what's your take on that? I would like to know.
So the thing is this, like just
Sam can tell
listening
a
to
story.
just listening to all of this stuff, it actually I actually didn't know that I was gonna feel like this, but I'm actually like deeply saddened by this segment about friends, because I actually had to let go of friendships that I had for like 30 years
Wow.
of friendships that I needed to let go. And like people that was like in my life from when I became a rapper to where I am now with the foundation and all of this stuff. And it actually has a lot to do with what you just mentioned earlier on about like when I started off with the workshops. I don't know, but for some reason I was actually looking, especially when it came to like long-term friendships, like who's going to repost this workshop? Like this is such an important movement that I'm starting, and that is, you know, something that really made me look at a few people sideways. Like you can't repost something where it's going to help somebody else.
Yeah.
You are not able to, you've got 30 years of friendship with me, but you're not able to ask me, so how did the workshop go?
Yeah.
So how are you actually doing? I have had to learn the hard way of constantly having to pour into friendships. My relationship is not working, but I keep on going back to the abusive relationship. Everybody's got a friend like that.
Yes,
I don't know now how many times and in how many, I don't know if I need to say it to you in a different language, that the person is not going to change. And the thing is, it's not about like not supporting.
Yeah.
I feel like you should support somebody if they're going through things like rough things in their life. But now if you told me the story 10,000 times and you're still in that relationship, I think that you want attention.
You are the problem.
You are the problem. Girl, you are the drama. But never once asking me about like how many people's lives, families, children has been changed by what
Yeah.
we're doing, and that to me was, and it was a lesson that I needed to have. It took me years and years to just say to myself, you know what, I cannot.
Yeah.
Like this is somebody that I just cannot move forward to. And also I have to say, like, I'm sorry, but it has made my life a lot lighter.
Yeah.
And the moment I let go of all of those people, even though it was a long-term relationship, I ended up meeting people like Lynn.
Yes.
I ended up meeting the most fantastic group of friends that is now also part of my foundation. I met an amazing partner that's in my life also now.
Yes.
The moment I start closing the door to people that was draining me and toxic, the Lord actually blessed me with the right people. And I know it's happened to me, so I know that as time goes on, you still in your 20s, it's gonna happen for you.
Yes.
It's gonna take, it's a process, trust the process.
It's
It takes
gonna
time,
take
but it's
time.
going to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and yesterday I actually had a conversation with someone, and it was regarding friends as well.
Mm.
And I asked I told the person, you know what, just step back a bit, and now you just watch that friend. Just for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks. And then you come back and you ask yourself, do I want to be that friend?
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
wait.
you need to say that again.
You and I are friends, right?
Yes.
But sometimes you need to evaluate your friends as well. So you step back and you just watch. I'm going to watch how you are for a
Yes.
week, a month.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come back and ask myself, do I want to be that friend that Stella is? Do I want to be such a person? Do I want to be treated the way I've been watching Zella treating other people?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you telling us today?
Got a lot to do with accountability.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
self-awareness.
Yes.
Because, and I remember you said something earlier about when I asked you, do you detach from that person in your direction? You said it's hard because sometimes you don't have other friends, so you keep to that friend. So sometimes it's good to
Yeah.
just sit back and ask yourself, but do I want to be like her? Do I want to be treated the way they treat someone else? I just thought I'd say that.
I've
That's
never
I've
amazing.
never heard of
like
it like that, because now that makes me feel like I haven't always been a good friend either.
Yours.
Actually,
Yeah.
I haven't always been I haven't
Yeah,
always
it's
showed
different.
up for somebody the way I perhaps should have showed up, because I was so consumed with being a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or being like pouring into somebody that didn't pour into me. I was giving that friendship so much of my time that the person that actually needed me, or I wasn't there for, that actually reminds me that even myself, I have not been a very good friend.
Yeah.
To other women that was very close in my life, clock it, learn.
And not just that, you know, when you step away, because normally you always the one who would make contact.
Yeah.
Check
So if you
in.
step back, is that person giving you that same attention you've been giving them all
I
along?
think
You
I've
kind
actually
of
done
notice
that
all
before.
those
Yes,
things.
and you like notice like they don't chat to you anymore, they don't message
Yeah.
you anymore unless you messaging. And I feel like when I've witnessed like this person is not like being their usual self.
Yeah.
When I message them, they almost like weird in a way, almost like, oh, why are you only messaging me now? But it's like, where were you when I was going through all of this? And when, because you can see my social media, you watching what I'm doing, but you're not interacting with like anything. So yeah, but I'll definitely look at that.
Yeah, so Glenn, I just wanted to, with this topic, this amazing topic, I just wanted to know from you, like, how has woman supporting woman, how has this shown up for you in your life?
When we speak about women supporting women, I'd say I'll I'll start closer to home.
Okay.
Okay, that saying, charity starts at home.
Yes.
The same with support starts at home. With your family, the very people that is close to you, those are the ones where your support should come from first. And lately, and we see it in a lot of families, we see it on social media everywhere, that family members don't support each other, sisters don't support each other, mothers that are competing with their daughters,
Ooh.
aunts that are competing with nieces, cousins competing with each other, and they in families nowadays, they're comparing their children to each other.
Oh,
You
yeah.
cannot have that,
Mm.
because my child have this. You have, look at your marriage, look at your house, look at
Yeah.
your success. And
Girls who lift girls up, clap when you win, who stay when it's tough. Girls who remind you you're more than enough. That kind of love right there, that's the real stuff. Here's to the girls who lift girls
I
up.
think that
May you always have that kind of
and I
love.
think that alone takes a lot of work,
Yeah.
especially if you are perhaps the only one in your family that thinks a certain way,
Yeah.
or you are sort to clock things
Yeah.
undercover, and things like that. So I think even in that itself, you need to acknowledge, okay, I need to make changes because there's a lot of unlearning to do
Yeah.
now, and that alone, that's a whole journey on its own. But definitely breaking that pattern, breaking that cycle, so that we can show up for each other, so that we can change like the next generations to come. We don't want to keep on repeating the
Yeah.
same things.
No, and when we speak about women supporting women, I've actually seen a few clips these days on social media. So you and I have beef. Tomorrow your mother comes on social media bashing me.
yes.
Oh yes, that's
Bashing
heard
me.
that. I
And
heard
then
that.
eventually my mother come on and
And then they're all
You
yes.
understand? And then it's, yo,
The
Yeah.
standard,
and,
yeah.
That's why I say it starts at home.
Mm.
And that where they say, I'm just saying it because we're family but in the back they're actually judging you, or they're jealous of what you have. It's not about I'm looking out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just you can't have what I have or what I want.
Mm.
And when we speak about family, I think I'm probably gonna go a bit off topic. A lot of people look up to your family because you a lot of the females in your family. I'm not saying you're perfect, and what I can say is the way you are on social media is exactly the same you are in person, because I've seen that. What is it that you ladies do, or yeah, everybody looks up to you because you're always there supporting each other.
Yeah.
What brought you to that? I just can't get the right words now.
Bond, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I
I mean,
think that
you
you,
can
both of
speak
you
up.
will definitely agree with me when I say it's got a lot to do with my mom.
Oh,
Our
yes,
matriarch.
definitely.
She unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But my mom, just to give you a little bit of a background of my mom also, my mom didn't really grow up, so she was the only daughter. She had 4 brothers, no?
Yeah.
She was the only daughter, and the thing is, there's a lot of responsibility that comes comes from that in her family. And my mom then had 5 daughters. And the thing is, my parents, especially my mom, was very strict. But the thing is, my mother especially, she instilled a lot of values in us. So the thing is this, like even though we were 5 sisters, we had a very different but close relationship with her. And the thing is, there's a lot of little nuggets that she left with us. So she would constantly drill into our heads that if the one is not going to have the other one needs to be there for them. My mom used to instill values that if somebody does good for you, always make sure that you return the favor. And we're not
Yeah.
talking about monetary things all the time, but always make sure that you return the favor. And then the other thing is this: my mom made sure that we had a lot of fun. And the thing is, our house was always filled with joy, and she never used to make an argument linger. So the thing is this, if we are mad at each other, my mom is not going to just leave us and be mad at each other. Even if she's going to say it in a very rough ghetto way, she's going to sort out the issue between each other right now. And I think that values makes it a lot easier for us to resolve things. And I know that you guys are going to have your perspectives as well. But just to be a little
Next
bit
generation.
controversial, let me just be a little bit controversial with that is also concerned that my mother instilled values of us also to be very strong because we're all women and to be independent. It's not always a positive thing.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's always saying when you overcoming something or you're doing somebody and you know people always look up to say, oh my word, you guys are so strong, that family.
Yeah.
It's being strong is not always a compliment.
Yeah.
Because what that has taught us as well, to be very honest with you, I have not seen my mother growing up crying a lot or being very emotional a lot.
Yeah.
Because she was always had to grow up being tough. And the thing is especially me and Salome is a bit more emotional. But the others are very like, I think your mommy cries about once a year.
Once a year. Yeah. And
So-
then
Yeah,
she
yeah.
says to me, it's no klagen.
Yeah,
But yeah.
last year I thought so one cry was not going to come, but then it came on Christmas. So the thing is, emotions it's like a thing where it's always being communicated. No, man, we don't we are strong. We see to things whatever, but sometimes it helps to just be a little bit emotional and release that. Because that is not a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
It's a sign of bravery. And I think that is maybe the little bit of controversial things that people don't know about my family. I just believe that always being strong is not necessarily a compliment.
Yeah,
Ooh.
definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think being family, you know, doesn't automatically mean you must support each other. It's about learning how to support each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely can give a slightly different opinion on that because so it's myself and my other cousin, we were born the same year, 96 baby. I think as like the first grandchild and being the eldest of all of the grandchildren, I certainly also seen a different perspective. I see a different perspective. Like, yeah, sure, we are fun people, we have the best times together. I mean, that again, that is what people see on social media, and even if you come across in our circles, we are like that. But I do want to also say, also touching on what Sam was saying about being strong and giving off this persona, I don't cry, I don't need to be emotional, because I need to be a strong woman, I need to show up in every area of my life, you know. But another thing that I would like to add is also maybe how we communicate. I mean, we were raised by like a mother, grandmother, who also didn't know better.
Yeah.
So, in terms of how we communicate, sometimes what I've seen in our family is that we shut down. And it is a work in progress, definitely. But we shut down instead of having that tough conversation. So now we, like if you were maybe my sister, we and I have an altercation, but then we don't talk about it. Sorry, we don't talk about it tomorrow. We're just going to sweep it under the rug and talk to each other as normal. So I think that is something that I would like for us to continuously work on. But yeah, I want it also to be controversial because I don't want people to think we are perfect at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a doubt.
Of course you do. Okay,
Yeah.
just for context,
Yes.
so I turned 30 this year, and
Yo.
Susanna, so the age gap between myself and Susanna is 10 years, and then the age gap between Sam and I is also about what?
5 years. 14.
14 years.
Yeah.
So this is like different
Yes,
chapters.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
So
okay.
what Nita said is like, obviously I have a different perspective, but there
Yeah.
was moments where I've been like really down and like I was like maybe in like a very mental state where I couldn't cope with my emotions, and I feel like sometimes the aunties they did show up, maybe just the one auntie I can say, your
Yeah.
mommy,
Mm.
like she's showed up and like she's been there and she's supported me and comforted me. So I would say like I had a different experience where there is moments where they will be there for you and will.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
My mother.
Yes, your mommy.
Same.
Yes. And I would say like my sister, I will tell her like sometimes she will get annoyed, but I always tell her like they lived in a different generation.
Mm.
So even when they like say like certain things where I'm like I don't agree with that,
Mm.
but I would think okay, you live in a different generation, so I will try to like understand where they're coming from. So maybe like if they give me advice, I will try to understand like what they have been through, because obviously the way they lived wasn't like how Sam said, it was very different to the way that I lived.
Yeah.
So I would like try to think of like how the way that they walk the path of life and why they're giving me the advice that they are giving me.
Yeah.
So I'll just look at it like that, even though the advice doesn't make sense. Okay, like this
Sorry,
doesn't.
Sena.
Yeah. And you know how them sisters are now.
Yes,
When
yes.
they talk to you, then they think it's like zzz, just like
Really?
yeah. Now can you do
But,
like something?
yeah. But I would say like but I can really see how much, like from all the aunties, I can see how much they care for me, and I could say like they're very protective over me, which
Yes.
is
Yes, they are.
understandable.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say in a way, even if it's not true, but I would say in a way, yeah, that they all see themselves in me.
Yes.
So I feel like that's why they're very like protective over me and they want the best for me.
Mm.
And sometimes it can show up like in the wrong way, but I would say like the aunties they care a lot.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe the way they show it up is like
It's a
intense.
bit, yeah.
Like
That's
okay,
very
calm
rough.
down. Like just
It's
say,
uplifting.
yeah. Like but I feel like they care a lot. They care for everyone, I would say. I also feel like they themselves have a lot of pressure on themselves, because imagine like we are made up of mostly women, so I feel like they are like they need to be like the role models.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like we need to look up to them, and I feel like sometimes it can get a lot for them because maybe they're not in that space to be that role model all the time. So I feel like, yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have a few questions I want to ask. Okay?
Yeah.
But all three you need to answer quickly, no overthinking.
Oh, okay.
First question. Let me start with you, Sam. Jealousy between women, is it a normal emotion or unacceptable behavior?
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I think it's a normal emotion.
Okay, I like that. Oh, well, that's a quick thing, man.
Okay. Can you be friends with someone you secretly compete with?
No,
No.
No.
I can't.
no,
I've been there though.
Yeah.
But I can't.
no.
I
It
can't
builds
do it.
resentment.
Yes.
You look very confused for this one.
Nah, I can't do it.
No.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Would you recommend another woman for a job even if you wanted the position yourself?
Definitely.
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 100%. Go get it.
Can you
girl.
support a woman who chooses you completely? Can you choose a woman whose choices you completely disagree with?
It depends, yes. I think I've been in that situation as well. We can't always agree with each other.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
true,
okay.
you're right.
Yes. Maybe.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
I don't support women who don't support me fair.
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
I don't support women who don't support me. Do you think that's fair? So you're not going to support someone who does not support you?
No, we still support
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
that doesn't support me.
Yeah. Because you must want to be a better person.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. So.
I don't know.
Stella?
I don't know.
Girl is choosing
Stella.
violence.
I don't know.
What's the one thing women need to start doing for each other? And that's my final question.
We need to listen to each other
Oh.
more often.
You need to be more genuine, like honest. Just be honest. Even
Yeah.
I struggle with it, but we need to have honest conversations like we're having today.
Yeah, I would say we need to encourage each other more, especially in the times that we are in now. Definitely.
Ooh, okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
What about you then?
You know, I think both of you said we need to start listening more. And we need, you know, there's nothing wrong with choosing your friends. I still feel that you can choose who you want to be friends with. If you are not going, I won't say not, sometimes people think, oh, you only someone's friend if you are benefit. You my friend if you are benefit for my soul, yes.
Oh, yes.
Did you
I'm
feel
a
that?
myself. I'm gonna be with myself.
You need to feel
Yes, you need to,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
If the friendship is not gonna mean anything, if there's nothing to feed on, I'm sorry.
Oh, but now I have a question. Do we still have time?
Yes, more than enough.
I lost my train of thought now. I got excited. Now I lost it. It's gonna come back.
But I want
Yeah.
to ask you actually learn like genuinely if you really have to think about something of somebody off the top of your head, what is the woman that has really been like the most inspirational
What?
to you?
Oh.
Who has been the woman?
There's not just one, and I think I've made a video actually the other day about it, a post about it. There's not only one, you know, each one plays a different role in your life, or it inspires you differently.
Yeah.
One, for example, that is why I've taken a break from shooting episodes. I think it's been 2 months now, because there was one that always inspired me. I always watch her videos, and she has her own business, and she speaks about what's important to her. She comes first, and everyone else comes, and automatically, if you okay, everything filters down, you know.
Yeah.
And for example, that person again inspired me to having these types of conversations now, where someone else would inspire me when it comes to the workplace. Someone else would inspire me, like, you all know Colin Stumbles from Australia. She would inspire me from what I would want if I had a family one day. So each one plays a different role.
Yeah.
I love that.
Where you guys came in, I would have never thought I would have been part of a foundation.
Really?
Wow.
Each one plays, I think each one
Yeah.
plays a different role.
I love that.
They should never be compared. That's why I always, as I will say again, you sit back and you think, would I want to be that person?
That's never gonna leave me.
Yes.
Lynn, you spitting balls
Come
today.
back.
Lenny. This is the question that came back to me.
Me.
Yes, it is
Oh
for you. So you were saying about having friends that feeds your soul, right? But when you realize that they are not doing so, how would you actually would you end the friendship, or would you continue and just maybe keep them at a distance? Like, what would be how would you navigate that?
From what I've experienced, not always, right? It's not because they stopped feeding your soul. They just needed someone to feed their souls that maybe prevented them from continuing. Sometimes you need to fill your own cup and able to fill someone else's cup.
Yeah.
So in a lot of cases, it was just, no, you're not a benefit. I'm not gonna feed your soul anymore. But then there were times when that person needed that from me to feed their soul.
You know, you're such a good person.
No,
Yeah.
just to re-energize that person again,
Yeah.
and then you see next week, you know, that person is now back, because that is something that they needed.
Yeah.
And again, I will come back when women supporting women. Sometimes we are always the one who needs support, but do we ever sit back and ask ourselves, who are we supporting?
Wow. Wow.
Okay, I was
Sola,
gonna
we
be a bit
feeling.
controversial. Like
I was
gonna
actually
be a
want to
little
talk
bit-
about that
Yeah.
what Lynn said, because
Yeah.
I've seen things where people like on TikTok say like, oh, they don't message their friend for like 5 months and then they're okay like off if they like text like after their 5 months. And I actually don't agree with that, to be honest. Like I understand like you all have your own life, but I feel like you still should like check up on your
Yeah.
friend. Like you shouldn't just distance yourself from your friend and not check up and just ask,
Yeah.
are you okay? Like we don't need to have lengthy conversations, but just like checking up and like asking that person, is there anything you need? Do you
Yeah.
want to catch up? Do you want to be in your own space, or where are you at? I think that is important. So we shouldn't just have like friends where it's like, oh, we talk
Yeah.
now and then, but we still cool. I feel like that. I don't
I
agree with
don't
that.
know if I completely agree with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about
Us
that,
don't,
yes. Because somebody actually very close to us, years, I used to feel like that, and then I had a conversation with somebody that's actually very close to us, and that person made my whole mindset change about what you just said now. So the thing is this, you have to have all kinds of dog people in your life. You have to have somebody that irritates you. You have to have friends that make you happy. You have to have somebody to speak to occasionally. You have to have all these different people because everybody's going to have different personalities. It's also in your life.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if it bothers you that much that you have a friend that you constantly need your friend to check in on you, then there's something in you that you need to fix. Because no matter what kind of friendships you are going to, obviously this is my opinion, no matter what kind of friendships you are going to have in your life, you need to be your own friend first. So you need to be completely at peace with being who you are. That it doesn't even matter if your friend doesn't message you in a week or in 5 months' time. It's the same thing that Lynn says. It all depends on how much you value that relationship. And if you need to question the relationship that, wow, this person only checks up on me in 5 months and it makes me feel a certain way, then you again have to ask yourself, how much do I value this person in my life and how much do I value myself?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that.
Okay,
Yes.
that was a different
Yeah.
perspective.
The reason why I was wanting to be a bit controversial about what you were saying is because I feel like friendships can become very one-sided. So as much as we want to stoop down to their level, because maybe they are just unaware, they are not self-aware, and you need to like meet them where they are. But at the same time, like how long do you keep that going? You know, that is why I thought to myself, I've had many friendships over the years where it was very one-sided. And like I'm pouring into you. It's like, when are you gonna be there for me? Type of thing. So in that case, I would walk away from the friendship because it's not serving me anymore. Yeah.
So ladies, I think we've almost come to an end. So before we end off, just again around the table, Zella, what would you say to our women out there?
Be strong.
Especially ladies your age.
Oh,
I
that's a
would
good
say, what would I say? I would say, hang in there.
Yeah.
I would say, like, focus on yourself, like, explore the world,
Yeah.
meet new people,
Yeah.
and always find the joy in, like, the small things. Yeah.
Love that. For myself, well, I am 30, so let me check in with the girlies. Are we okay? Girlies to my 30s, early 30s, are we okay? It's rough out there, and there's a lot of unlearning. I mean, we've had some fun in our 20s, but it's about we are growing up now, we're leveling up now. So make sure to drink your water, have a good nap. But don't forget that when you look at yourself in the mirror, that you say that you're proud of yourself. Yeah, that's me.
So I would say that there is going to be, for somebody that is my age.
What is your age, Sam?
40 something. So I would say that, you know, don't sweat the little stuff. Like you are more than just a mother. You are more than just an auntie, a sister, wherever you show up in your life. Like it's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to make that nail appointment.
Yeah.
It's okay to take that walk alone on the beach somewhere. It's okay to check in with yourself because you cannot lose yourself in only being a mother. You cannot lose yourself only in a relationship. In order for you to be the best version of yourself, you need to first make sure that you're okay. So always make sure that self-care is somewhere on the top of your list. And it doesn't need to be big things. You can just do it in your own small little way.
Yeah.
Len?
So yeah, from my side, I would say that I would ask the question again: women supporting women, is it a reality or just a saying? I would say, you know, before you ask yourself, why don't people support me or who's supporting me? You know, ask yourself, who am I supporting? Who am I there for? You know, and support is not just a hashtag, it's an action, it's supposed to be an action. But before everything, before everyone else, like Sam said, you should ask yourself, how am I supporting myself? You cannot support someone else if you're not supporting yourself.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, your number one priority before anybody else.
Yeah.
We don't need anyone else's validation. We don't need anyone else. Yes, sometimes you want to hear you're doing a good job, but are you telling yourself you're doing a good job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you telling yourself, I'm proud of the woman that I am?
Yeah, definitely.
So from my side, thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, this was lovely.